Hi again, everyone. Okay, so right now I'm on my annual trending. This is with outliers. So I mean, you could tell that, right? Because when you look at the total, you see the 387. When you look on the total paid, you see the 2.758 million. So you know this is the entire data set. As I spoke of in the first video, as I was preparing a sort of a review, introspective, I added this 5-year average. Now, why did I do that? I want more insight when it comes to what's going on. And so the 5 years are the 2017 to 2021. And then what we can do is we can kind of compare what our 5-year average is compared to the 2 years we dropped. And is it different? Or how different is it? You know, you kind of look at them and you average those two together. So we could go like a early 2-year average, just as a comparison. I don't know why that made that so huge. Let's go back to an 8-point font. What is this then? 8? Why does that look so much bigger? I don't know. That's weird. Anyway, so equal, and we'll go average of just the 2010, 2011. We'll run it across. And we don't do that. We do this. Yeah. All right, let's turn these into currency. Here, I'm just interested in what is going on right here. Is that about right? Or are these 10s? That's 10, all right. Close. Come on. There we go. So let's compare these two. So the earlier 2 years to the previous 5 years, at least the full years we compared. They had more claims average per year. They had higher medical, which is really interesting because medical costs have gone up substantially in the last decade. They had a higher indemnity. They had a higher LAE. And overall, they were over $100,000 more per year, and the average was higher. So I'm honestly wondering if they got dropped because their numbers were too high. Could be. But who knows? You know, I'm only speculating for fun. And then over here, I had reviewed this. I was looking at the open claims to see what the influence might be. And in 2021, you know, we got the total incurred and the difference. You know, it could go up this high. You know, that's the incurred is the reserve, right? Total incurred for 2020 is about 380. It's almost nothing in 2019. 2018, it is quite high. So they're going to be, as those two claims close, we'll know better, you know, whether they're going to realize this 161. I would bet in 2018 that was the amputation, because that one's probably going on. We could look at the outliers. We'll look at the outliers later, but in your mind go, I wonder. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this annual trending, copy and paste it to another tab. Copy and paste. So everything's here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the accident department. I wish, in previous semesters, we always were able to look at the policy class code. But when every entry is policy class code, there's no variance. There's nothing to differentiate. I think there's like 2 that are different. So unfortunately, we can't use that. I mean, this is kind of like, could we come up with different codes for where things occurred? You know? Here, let me zoom in a little so you can see. I'm going to turn the header row into a filter, and I'm going to filter policy class code and see what happens. Nothing happened that way. What happens if I do it the other way? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 claims out of everything that are not. It's just, that's not enough. We're basically looking at everything. When did these things occur? Oh, one happened in 2020. It was a COVID. And then there's all before. So, oh wait, no, in 2019. Sorry, I didn't see that. There's a dislocation in 2010. Were these really expensive claims? 6,500. So we're basically looking at everything, right? All right, so let's look at accident department, because that's the really only other, you know, question of where things occurred. And did that work? Okay, yeah, it did. Now, I used to go through and manually draw out all the entries here, but that's you know, we don't like doing that. So I'm going to teach you something called pivot tables. We're going to use the descriptive descriptives. Can we use descriptives? Do we put years in descriptives? Are we going to be doing years? We're not going to be doing years. Actually, we can use the master. And I'm not going to molest it. All I'm going to do is draw from it. So the master doesn't have anything down below, so it's a clean data set. Does it have unique identifiers? No, but that may not matter. So we go up here to insert at the top. Click on insert. And right over here on the left, it says pivot table, recommended pivot tables table. I'm going to hit pivot tables. I'm just going to hit the big one. And it's going to pull everything here. I'm going to say yes into a new. So this is going to be my pivot table. And I only use this for figuring out what the entries are. Yeah, okay. Oh, it's already been taken. Pivot table 1 then. And what I can do here is I can draw these down into filters, columns, rows, or values. I'm not real good with this. And I usually bring in a guest speaker to cover it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to... Oh, I think we might need the unique identifier. So accident location is right here. Why am I accident department? Is that what it is? Okay. Accident department is a row. And see, we've got all the numbers here. So this is really all I wanted. I could drop in something like total paid or paid total. And, oh, it hasn't even been made yet because we're still in the regular thing. So this is everything we want. We know that there's a blank in there. So for my purposes, all I want are these. I'm going to copy them and then come over to my, where's the thing I was working on? I think it's way at the end here. I already did this, so. Is that it? No, I don't know where it went. It went from the no trending to, no, that's not it either, is it? Totally lost my sheet. There you are. Okay, this is it. So I've got my listing. So this is the, what I want to do is just put it down below here. But I need to go one over from the fiscal year because I'm going to do count and I'm going to do percent count. And that's going to be the first step of my risk priority number. So I just copied and pasted everything from the pivot table. And then I'm going to give it a dummy code because I've got some dummy entries, some missing entries. Not to say they're unintelligent or anything. All I'm saying is there's some entries here that don't exist, but I need to account for them. And now I can't find them. Oh, there they are. See, right here. So I'm just going to put in 9999. And then it'll at least account for it. I could have typed it every time, but I like to use the repeat. All right, so let's get down here. So this first table we create, is it really accident department? Because I've been using accident location. It is accident department. Pardon me, I think on all the assignments I called it accident location. Don't know why I did. Okay, so everything here is listed. This is a ridiculously long list. And okay, I don't need these anymore. I do want this up here though, because this will automatically update as I do things, right? Accident department, and then I'm going to do a count, claim count. I'm going to do a percent count, percent of total. And then I'm going to do all the paids, right, all the way down to there. Copy, paste. Yeah, I might as well do the average per claim. Sometimes I put that somewhere else, but I'll put it right there. And then I'm going to do a percent total. Where are you? Percent total paid. I'm going to do my risk priority number, and then I'm going to do my rank. Yep. All right, let's get all these fixed up. All right, we got our tables humming, and I got to do an extra one for my total because I got to check my work. Just putting in that. Come down here and put in my total, or totals, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what you call it. All right, we got to get the columns now. I'm going to zoom this in. Sorry for yelling. Our accent department is Q. So when we count, we're going to do Q. The percent we're doing out of is 387 because that's the total number. This is column, it's right above there. So I think I can just get it from here. Copy STUV. The average is the total paid, which is column V, divided by the count, which is Q. No, yes it is. Percent total paid, that's out of 27, what is it? Should be right in front of my face. Oh, it's right here. 2758, 2758, 725, 725. Okay. RPN is the two percentages multiplied by each other. So it's column R times by column X. And then the rank we do manually after we sort. All right, so shrink these guys down. I can make them bold so I can see them better. All right, let's zoom in. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a Countif. We want to know how many accident department 1s or 10s or whatever are in Q. We know Q goes from 2 until 388. 388. So I type in equal. You always type equal when you're about to do something. Equal, Countif. I want to count. It says range and criteria. The range is Q2 to Q388. I can scroll up here and make sure that it's highlighted everything I want. And the criteria is whatever is in this cell just to the left. Hit return. Counted 11. Then what I want to do is go in and freeze the range up above. So I'm going to put a $sign in front of the 2, a $sign in front of the 388. It stayed 11, but now when I click and drag, it'll always keep it at 2 to 388. If you don't do that, it'll bring it down 1 each time you pull it down. I'm going to add up the thing, and I hope it equals 387. If it doesn't, then I got to find out what I did wrong. Do an audit. I did something wrong. There must be a double or something, because that's way more than you're supposed to. All right, let's see here. Am I adding all this up and more? No, I'm not. And is 388 what's always being asked? Oh, I got an A in there. What was I thinking? I got to put a Q. Okay, wait. I'll put a Q here. Yes, I know. Sorry, everybody. I bet you all noticed that. And we're like, hey, what are you doing? It should be Q2 to Q388. Now I'll click and drag. See, even I make mistakes. But you got to audit it to make sure. There's 387. To do the percentage, we go equal sign. This amount divided by the total. We type in 387. It gives us a fraction. We turn it into a percentage. 2 decimal points are fine. I'm going to center justify, click and drag all the way down. And I'm going to go all the way to here. It should show me 100%, and it does. Now we're going to use the Sumif. Equal Sumif. We got to give the range of the criterion. The criterion is accident department. And we're going to freeze everything. I'm just going to do it right off the bat. So it's $Q, $2, to $Q to $388. So I never want that to change. No matter where I drag, I want that to stay. Comma, the criterion is this cell here, which I need to put a $sign in front of the column because I can go up and down. And then what I want it to add up is $2 to $388 because I want to go back and forth but not up and down. Turn this into currency. And click and drag down. And then drag it over. And I've got it added up. Sum of this thing here. Hit return. Center it. There we go. 1653. 1653. Good. The average per claim is the total paid equal total paid divided by the count. And get rid of that. Center it. Ooh, that's a high average, isn't it? 23,000. And we go all the way down. So the overall should be 7,128. There's an error sign because there's probably divide by 0. Yep. Divide by 0. Grand total. I should not have had that. I think I accidentally copied it. See, it didn't change anything. We're still good everywhere. We're going to want to look at that in a second. The percent total paid is equal to the total paid amount divided by, I type in 2,758,725. I got to turn that into a percentage. What's interesting is we're going to be using the same table, the same technique for the next two steps. So once you build it, it kind of works out good. Let's see, it should be 100%, right? Yep. Now, RPN, risk priority number, is the percent count multiplied by the percent total paid. So it's a proxy of the frequency or the probability times by the severity, which is what risk is. The risk priority number, the higher the number, the higher the priority. So equal the count multiplied by the total paid. It should get hashtags. It does. You always have to reduce it. I usually go to like 4 or 5 decimal points. That's only 3. Let's go. Okay, we'll go 5 and I'll just open it up a little. Now, click and drag this down. All right. We don't do the total for it because it's not really meaningful. We're just looking for the magnitude of it. Okay. Now what I need to do is I can't use my normal sort. So what I do is I highlight the data, not the total. If you mix up the total, it messes everything up. So what I've highlighted is all of the entries all the way over to risk priority number. Okay, I manually did that, clicked and dragged. So then what I want to do is go up to insert. Instead of clicking on data, started clicking on filter, I'm going to click on sort. And it's going to bring me a window. And it has the header. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So I'm going to click on RPN and highest to lowest, or largest to smallest. Okay. Now what I've done is I've found my ranks. So mix is number 1, sand is number 2, this is number 3. Remember, outliers are included here, and we're going to take them out here in a second. And how far do we go down? That is a great question. I'm just going to round numbers 25 for no other reason. Let's see how many different entries there are. And we're just going to do that by numbering them off. 1, 2, 3. Why did you get big? Drag it down. I think there's like 89. Yep. And let's figure out what percent they represent, because as they go up, so I'm just going to go equal this number divided by 89. Each one is 1/89th, and that's what this is. Turn it into a percent, and then make it small. Then drag it down. Because the Pareto ratio is what's supposed to guide us. Pareto ratio is 20%. So 20% of these, does it represent 80% of something else? And here's our 20%. It's at 18. Okay. So let's go down here and let's do some Pareto analyses. First one is going to be, I do this 2 different ways. I do the 20%. So I'm going to go 20% of accident department categories, entries, and not entries, category department, accident department categories. I don't know. That's kind of what it is. Get that out of the way. So what I'm going to do is go up and equal sum, and I'm going to highlight the top 20%, which is 18, I believe. So I'm going to highlight the count here all the way up to 18. That's 20%. And what does that represent? It represents 20, or 200 rather. Let's drag this across all the way to the, okay, I should have done the percentage first, because this doesn't mean anything. Interesting. So let's turn this into percentages. So it's 51.68%. Let's see what this is. Currency. And this is percent. Close to 80. Now what I'd like to do is kind of just look at the numbers themselves, the magnitude of the difference. So 1 and 2 are definitely going to be investigated. This is 1/3 of this. Probably should fit in. These two will fit in too, and that one. This. I think top 7 seem to have a natural break. What is the top 7? Let's see what that equals. Top 7 equals the sum, and I'm just going to add up the top 7. And drag that over after I center it. I don't understand why this has gone so fast. So it counted for 50% of that and only 28%. So that seems too low, doesn't encompass or not, but we have a prioritized list. But but outliers are included. So let's add another tab. Bring over the work we just did. So copy and paste. Now what we're going to do is turn the header row into a filter. So highlight the header row, hit data, filter. We're going to sort by total paid because that's how we're able to bring our outliers to the top, high to low. Why isn't there a number here? Thought I had my outliers numbered. That's really weird. Okay, so I'm taking the top 30. So I'm going to go all the way down to 31. And I can also look at the numbers. I know it was about 20, so 19,770 is my... So I'm going to Control X to cut. I'm going to go sit them down below here. Get plenty of room. Paste. So now everything should be updated automatically. Let's see here. So this is now going to be not 387, but 357. And there's my total. Does my total equal that total? It does. Does it equal this total? It does. Now, the big thing is, has it changed? Has the ranking changed? And let's see. I mean, one thing I sometimes like to do, and I'll show you in a second, is I look and see what outliers came from what department. How do I do that? Well, I have to bring over or subtract what the new number is from the original. So I could do this. So I could do, where's number? Number of outliers, and then also the amount of outliers. So equal the original number of outliers. I got to go back one tab and click on the mix count. Subtract the one that I just built. So what the outliers removed. There's one. It just gives us another layer to see what was here. Got a lot of zeros. And then same thing with the dollar amount. So we go equal. We go over to the last sheet we worked on. I didn't give it a name because I'm going to delete it when I'm done. Here's the total paid. And then I subtract what the new one is because that's what the outlier removed, which is right here. Click. And it was that amount, quite a bit. And then I'll drag this down. Kind of neat. Now, if I want to keep these, I have to create a new tab. Because if I start sorting things, it's going to screw it up because this is predicated on everything lining up. So if I copy this and paste it, then can I? So I resorted it here, and I've got accent location and everything else here. That's my source. Okay, here's my accent location. I was doing some cool stuff here. And when I resort, there seems to be the top 6 remain the top 6. Should always resort when you start removing data to see if it shifted anything. So the top 6 are still the same top 6. Top 12 are still pretty well contained. So I'm still going to do 18, but I'm moving to top 12. And I did 26, 7, and 20%. Just trying to figure out where the cutoff is. But the big issue is there's 89. That's too, the data is too parsed down because that's 27. That's number 1. And if it's going to be over 5 years, that's maybe 5 years, but we're not even including the 2 years that got removed. So it's going to be a really, really low number. Because we're going to start narrowing in on our priorities, and I don't like where this is going, though next week I'm going to show you how I did it. Yeah, so what I want you to be able to do is create this table and use the risk priority number and sort high to low and start ranking. Prioritize rank. And then I want you to do is try to find a cutoff point. And so I want you to start adding up what things represent. Want to try to get that, 20% of these represent 80%, 80%, 20% of the categories. Sometimes it's 10%, sometimes it's 35%, but we want to see what it takes to get up to 80. And here it's difficult. One thing is when you remove the outliers and the total percent is below, I mean, here it's 92, that's still pretty high. When it's 28, what we can do is divide our percentage by what that new total is. What that's doing is taking a percent of a percent to get a representation. So it's a representative 35%. So it's 35% of what's left. Do it with this one. Hashtags just mean the number is too long. That's a 56. This is the top 26 codes. Must have been another natural break there. That's probably why I picked it. And it's 70. It's probably, but still, 26 analyses? No, that's not going to work. We're at 25 minutes. I'm sorry this went so long, but we're going to be doing something very similar here. In the same table is going to be rebuilt above it to do accident source. We'll do that. And then after that, it's going to be creating a new cause code.